Welcome to the April episode of County Connection, where we talk about events, programs, and services offered by Summit County government. I'm your host, Julie Suter. We have a great show lined up for you this month. We're going to be talking about services for veterans, preventing child abuse, and our local 911 center. Thanks for joining us. For our first segment of this April show, we are going to be talking about veteran services here in Summit County. And here to tell us all about it is Dwayne Daly, our Summit County Veteran Service Officer and Advocate. Welcome, Dwayne.
Good morning. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
All right. Great to have you here. So, Dwayne, why don't you start off by telling us, giving us a little bit of an overview of the Veteran Services Program here in Summit County.
Let me start by saying that I am the full-time Grand County Veteran Service Officer, and I'm contract Veteran Service Officer to Summit County, something I started in the middle of last summer. I am here in the office on the third Tuesday at the Health and Human Services section in the medical office building from 9 to 1, and I'm always on the phone. The staff over there has my contact, and since I've started, I've grown the enrollment probably about from about 50 up to about 85, I think is what I looked at this morning. And that's just making that connection and getting the word out. Work a little bit with the Mr. Dexter up at the Breckenridge American Legion.
Okay.
So it's exciting, and it's a wonderful program to start, and my main thing is to advocate for veterans and make sure that they never give up, that they continually appeal when they get shot down the first time by VA. And truly what I am is a county employee. I am an arm of the Colorado Division of Veterans Affairs, and I'm accredited, and that's exactly, I'm
Great.
Advocate for veterans.
Excellent. So can you give us some specific examples of the ways in which you support veterans and what types of services that you can help them access?
I sure will. What we do is, first of all, enroll veterans in the program, in the health program, VA Health, and then also in benefits for service connection disabilities, for non-service connected pension, for DIC, for widows of veterans. And I am an outreach man to let them know what all services are available through local and state and national programs.
Okay, fantastic. So how, in terms of the veterans that you do come in contact with in Summit County, how well would you say that they're familiar with the opportunities that they do have available to them in terms of programs and services?
Summit County is very interesting because there are a lot of officers that are retired that have TRICARE to begin with. Most of the older vets are starting to lose their hearing. Most of it combat related, noise related.
Okay.
The younger vets come out, and just like when us old dogs came out, they don't want anything to do with it for a while. And pretty soon they need those services that they earned, and they're very unfamiliar with it.
Okay.
So my duty is to make sure that they understand the avenues to how to get to the end result.
Great. Well, and it's great that you've been so successful already in just less than a year in reaching out to all those folks and increasing the enrollment here and spreading the word about all those services.
Well, it's really unique in that it's word of mouth mostly. One vet tells another vet, and it trickle down and trickle out.
Okay, great.
So it's a great program.
Excellent. And are you a veteran yourself, Dwayne?
I am a veteran, yes, ma'am.
Oh, well, thank you for your service. Yes. Can you tell us a little bit about your service and your background personally?
I am a Grand County native. I went to college until I ran out of money. So at that time there was something called a draft. I was lucky enough to be number 40. I just went ahead and volunteered. I'm a regular Army as opposed to a draftee. I served 2 years in the Army Medical Corps. I was in Vietnam briefly, and then I was in Alaska. And in addition, I was a combat medic and a surgical technician.
Okay, so then you have first-hand experience in relating to a lot of the experiences of local veterans, and
Absolutely.
all
yeah.
right. So there is an event coming up. Speaking of these various services and programs that local veterans can access, and so you have a big event planned in April. So tell us what's going on with that.
On April 18th at the Summit County Community and Senior Center, from 12 o'clock, we're going to have a VA town hall. And what a town hall is, it just brings together a lot of the VA resources.
Okay.
So we're bringing in the VA regional office, VA benefits. One thing confusing about Veterans Administration, I call it two companies under the same name. You have VA benefits, and you also then have VA medical. They rarely talk to each other, which is confusing and baffling sometimes.
Okay.
So we're bringing in people from the regional office. They're privy to, if you have a claim in progress and it's retarded for whatever reason, and 99% of the times they don't go through smoothly, unfortunately, there'll be a man that can track right there that day where they're at in the process and give them a guesstimate of how much longer they need to wait. And if they're unsuccessful, then we will start the appeals process and continue on forever and ever. There will be VA home loan people in there to talk about home loans. There will be a VA vet center. Vet centers are strictly for counseling, post-traumatic stress, anxiety, combat-related items, and sexual trauma items. They meet one-on-one. They will be there. They're a very great organization. They're one in Colorado Springs, Denver, Boulder, and Fort Collins. So there'll be 2 reps from the vet center there. Additionally, there will be conversation about service connection, about pension, and then that's from the regional office side, the benefits side. VA Medical from the Eastern Colorado Health Center in Denver will be there, and the Choice Champion. And Choice Champion is something for rural vets, choice card where you don't have to go to VA. You can get enrolled locally, and unfortunately it's administered by a company that's in California. And there are a lot of hiccups in it, but Mrs. Cook will be here and she will explain that process and when bills don't get paid, how to go through that. And we're excited. The VA hospital in Denver, the new one, should be announced. It will be announced that we're going to move over there in the first week of August.
Okay, so coming up pretty soon.
Coming up pretty soon, and a few $1 million over budget, but
Right.
and then they'll explain also the 7 units will remain at the Claremont VA hospital for about 3 years before the total transition will make that.
Okay, so it sounds like this event on April 18th, will be a really great opportunity for people to be able to have some face-to-face conversations right here in Summit County with a lot of folks who normally are in locations around the Front Range.
Front Range and Grand Junction and Fort Collins. So yeah, this is the people that it's good to build that network and understand what's available, put a name to a face,
Right.
and just how do you connect those dots?
Absolutely. All right. Well, it sounds like a great event. And so again, that's 12 to 3, April 18th. And I've heard that there's free lunch for any vet who shows up for this event.
Absolutely. That's, I've been very successful in Grand County by bringing in a meal, and it just attracts a lot more people, and it just kind of sets the tone. So that will start at 12 o'clock. Not sure the exact details on that yet, but it's we're working on it, and it'll be very nice. And we'll start our program. Each individual presenter will give a 5-minute talk, and then we'll do a breakout session for individual questions.
Okay, perfect.
And additionally, I'm sorry,
Oh, no, go ahead.
we're going to bring in some additional resources. I'm going to talk as a veteran service officer. I'm very fortunate to be the recipient of the Veterans Trust Fund grant, and also a Veterans Assistance Grant, which are two different grants, but they're put in place to help needy vets. And when I wrote the grants most recently, a month ago, I expanded my service area to include Summit County, a lot of South Park, and Lake County.
Okay.
So if, that's so important for guys that get behind, or so to explain how that works, and and it's for any vet that can produce a DD-214 that's above a dishonorable discharge.
Okay. And I would imagine that this event is, in addition to getting to connect with the folks from these various organizations and learning about these services and accessing them, that it also seems like it'd be a good opportunity to network with other veterans.
Absolutely, and that's the support group for veterans or other veterans, people that have been there, done that. That's the beauty of this.
Great. So, Dwayne, if people would like more information about this event on the 18th, or would just be interested in connecting with you in general, how would they go about doing that?
To speak to me personally, my company cell phone is 970-509-9024. Also, you can connect through the Summit County webpage and scroll down to the Health and Human Services subpage, and then to Veterans, and that information will be loaded up on that. And call the Health and Human Service office here at Frisco.
Okay.
And I don't know that number by memory yet.
All right. Well, I'm sure we'll be able to flash it up on the screen.
But anyway, that's a great event, and trying to get the word out through newsprint and through this wonderful medium. And as I learn more, we'll get it on the social media.
All right, sounds perfect. All right, well, thanks so much, Dwayne, for coming in today, and thanks for the great work you're doing for our veterans here in Summit County.
Well, it's an honor and pleasure to serve people that have served this great country.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. We're going to take a quick break, but definitely come back and join us. We have a lot more great topics to talk about.